The silent scream you never dared to confront. What if I told you? The reason you haven't been healed isn't because I didn't hear you, but because there's something inside of you that you've been too afraid to face. You're here because something in your soul is exhausted, not just tired of pain, but tired of pretending it's over when it's not, tired of smiling when your heart still bleeds, tired of praying and still waking up broken, tired of moving on, but never really moving forward. And here's the truth you've tried to ignore. Some wounds don't fade with time, they deepen. Some traumas aren't silenced by prayer, they are provoked by it. And some chains are spiritual, not emotional, which is why you've done everything the world told you to do and nothing changed. You are not just in pain, you are in bondage, and the most dangerous prison is the one where you keep the key but refuse to use it. There is a mystery hidden deep within your soul, a pattern that repeats, a silence that screams, a pain you've learned to live with, because healing felt harder than hurting. But today, that mystery ends. Not because you finally understand it, but because I, the Lord your God, have come to confront it. This message isn't for everyone. It's for the ones who are done pretending, for those who cry in silence, who lie awake with invisible grief, who look healed on the outside but haven't felt peace in years, for those who believe but don't know how to trust anymore, for those who fear they missed their chance to be whole again. Daughter, son, this is your turning point, not a motivational speech, not another sermon, a divine interruption. Because what you thought was depression was really a soul screaming for identity. What you thought was failure was a cycle that no one helped you break. What you thought was abandonment was my silence performing spiritual surgery in the dark. You're not here by accident. You're here because heaven remembered your pain when even you tried to forget it. And today, what you haven't been able to heal, I'm about to reveal, but I need your full attention. Because in the next few moments, you'll hear something you were never told. Something that explains why you've prayed, cried, waited, and still feel broken. If you listen until the end, I will show you what the enemy never wanted you to discover, the hidden root of your delay and how to uproot it. But before we go further, I want you to activate your spirit. Write this in the comments right now. God, expose what's been blocking my healing and rewrite my soul with your truth. Write it as a prophetic act. Give heaven legal ground to move. And if you believe this message is for you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's how the algorithm understands it's not just a video, it's a divine rescue. Help us reach others who are silently dying inside. Now breathe, because what's coming will change you forever. You're not just hurt, you're trapped. You've spent years calling this pain a scar. But what if I told you, it's not a scar, it's a cell. And you've been living inside it, calling it healing, because you didn't realize the door never actually opened. The reason the pain keeps returning isn't because you're weak. It's because you're trapped in a spiritual pattern you haven't yet broken. You've learned to function with dysfunction, to smile with trauma, to raise your hands in worship while bleeding internally from what was never healed, only hidden. You've called it moving on. But moving on without deliverance is like running with chains. You might move, but you're never free. And the worst part, the enemy has convinced you that this cycle is normal, that feeling empty is just part of being human, that waking up with anxiety, carrying guilt you can't name, and shutting down emotionally is just part of growing up. But I am the Lord your God, and today I expose the lie. You are not just hurt. You are spiritually trapped in memories, habits, and beliefs that do not belong to your identity in Christ. This is why your relationships keep breaking the same way. This is why no matter how many times you forgive, you still feel bitter inside. This is why your prayer life feels dry, your faith feels heavy, and your heart feels numb. Because you're not living out of freedom, you're surviving inside a pattern shaped by what you never processed, a pattern built by the version of you that was hurt and never healed. And until that version is surrendered, the real you, who I created, who I called, who I died to redeem, will remain buried beneath the illusion of, I'm fine. Daughter, son, you are not fine, but that's not your end. That's your beginning. Because the only thing worse than being trapped is not knowing you are. But now you know. And what you know, you can break. I came to tear down what has kept you caged for years. But I won't do it unless you let me all the way in. You've guarded this wound like it's your secret, but I already saw it. You've called it your thorn, but I see it as your tether. Let me cut it, because this pain you've normalized is not your identity. It's your captivity. And once you recognize you're trapped, the exit begins, when healing becomes the enemy. There is a reason you've resisted your healing, though you keep asking for it. And it's this. Healing threatens the version of you that pain helped create, because pain didn't just hurt you, it shaped you. It became a shelter, a justification, an identity. And now, without realizing it, you've grown attached to what nearly destroyed you. You want to be free, but you're terrified of who you be without the wound, because the wound gave you something to blame. It explained why you isolate, why you push people away, why you never expect good things to last. It became the lens through which you see yourself, others, and even me. So deep down, you don't know who you are without it. And that makes healing feel like death. But I came to tell you, that version of you must die. The bitter you, the guarded you, the you that distrusts love, resists peace, avoids intimacy, and clings to control. I did not create that person. Pain did. Trauma shaped it. And now I'm calling you out of it. This is why healing feels violent. Because it is. It's war between your soul's truth and the lies you've normalized. It's not soft. It's not gentle. It's a holy breaking, a divine confrontation. Because what refuses to be confronted can never be transformed. And you know this, even if you don't want to admit it. This is why you pull away right when restoration begins. This is why you start to cry when you hear the truth, but then shut it down. This is why you self-sabotage every time someone gets too close. You don't need more time. You need to surrender, because you're not just avoiding the pain, you're avoiding what healing would require of you. To forgive, to let go, to stop being the victim in a story where I've already written your victory, to step out of the grave while still afraid of the light. But I'm not waiting for you to be ready. I'm offering it now. This moment is sacred. And if you walk away again, it may take years to return to this door. That's how serious this is. Don't let healing feel like the enemy when it's your deliverance in disguise. The root of your pain has a name. What you've called just a feeling is actually a spiritual root. And no matter how much you pray, cry, or try to distract yourself, it won't go away. Because what has a spiritual name can only be broken by spiritual authority. This is why the pain keeps coming back. Not because you're weak, not because healing doesn't work, but because you're still treating a spiritual infestation like an emotional irritation. You've been treating symptoms, but I'm showing you the root. It has a name. And today, I'm exposing it. For some, it's rejection. You've carried it since childhood, even before you could speak it. It whispers that you're always unwanted, always an outsider, never enough. For others, it's abandonment, the silent ache that people leave you, emotionally or physically. And now, you don't get too close because you're already preparing for them to walk away. Some carry the root of shame, not just guilt, but an identity soaked in failure. You believe you're broken beyond repair, that you're a burden, that nothing good lasts for you. Others are gripped by comparison, betrayal, neglect, perfectionism, or the lie of being invisible. You see, the soul isn't wounded by accident, it's wounded in patterns. And unless those patterns are named and brought under my light, they become permanent blueprints. That's why you feel stuck, because your soul has been building its identity around a root I never planted. But I never bless what I didn't design. And I didn't design you to live out of what hurt you. I designed you to live from what healed you. But first, you must recognize the root. Don't hide behind general words like "I've been hurt." No more hiding. Call it what it is, because what you refuse to name, the enemy continues to claim. So I ask you, what's the real name of your pain? Say it, write it, confess it before me, because what you name, I can heal, and what you bring to my altar, I can burn at the root. Until then, you'll stay in cycles. Until then, your healing will be partial. Until then, you'll feel like you're fighting something you can't see, because you are. But now, it's exposed. And once exposed, it has no more legal ground to stay. God's silence is your healing in process. You assumed I was ignoring you. You thought I was distant, because when the pain got worse, I got quiet. When you begged for healing and felt nothing, you believed I had walked away. But listen closely. My silence wasn't abandonment. It was operation. You didn't hear me because I was healing you in places that words can't reach. You didn't feel me because I was performing soul surgery where emotion would only distract you. I wasn't gone. I was working. But you confused absence with attention. In the moments you thought I forgot you, I was the closest. Not with comfort, but with correction. Not with answers, but with alignment. Because some healings require silence. Not because I want you to suffer, but because what I'm doing in you is too deep to be shared prematurely. Too sacred to be interfered with by opinions. Too foundational to be rushed. You cried out, but I didn't respond the way you expected. Why? Because you didn't need comfort. You needed reconstruction, and reconstruction begins with breaking. You prayed for restoration, but you forgot what restoration really means. It's not putting things back the way they were. It's tearing down what was broken so it can be rebuilt. My way. And yes, sometimes that process feels like silence, like loneliness, like being forgotten. But you were never forgotten. You were being reformed in the fire of my love. Remember Joseph? I was silent in the pit. Remember Job? I was silent in the ashes. Remember Jesus? I was silent on the cross. But in all three, the silence was never empty. It was preparing resurrection. Daughter, son, stop misreading the silence. It's not me ignoring you. It's me trusting you enough to heal you deeper than you've ever asked. Because if I spoke too soon, you would have clung to the sound, instead of letting me go deep into your soul. If I had answered your last prayer the way you wanted, you wouldn't be here, ready for the healing you truly need. You thought I wasn't listening, but I was listening more than ever, and I was doing something far greater than giving you relief. I was giving you restoration. You will come out of this, but not as you entered. You didn't find this video by scrolling. You were guided, because this moment was written before your pain ever started. And I need you to hear me now. This pain will not finish the story. You will walk out of this season, but when you do, you won't be the same person who walked in. You entered broken. You will leave rebuilt. You entered full of questions. You will leave marked by revelation. You entered dragging the weight of memories, trauma, and fear, but you will leave with an identity rooted in the truth of who you are in me, because this isn't just about healing, it's about resurrection. I didn't just come to mend what cracked, I came to rebirth what died. You thought this was about getting back to how things used to be, but I'm not taking you back. I'm taking you forward into a version of you that never existed before, a healed you, a stable you, a spirit-filled, emotionally whole, grounded in truth you. And yes, the road was painful, the silence hurt, the confrontation cut deep. But everything that broke in you was not who you really were. It was what you carried, because you were never taught how to drop it. But now you know, and with this knowing comes power. You don't have to live one more day explaining your brokenness. You don't have to survive in shadows. You don't have to justify the ache that lives behind your smile. Today, I give you permission to leave it behind. No more rehearsing pain. No more protecting the version of you I'm calling out of. No more playing small to keep people comfortable. You will not walk into tomorrow dragging yesterday's version of yourself. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. Now speak it with your mouth. Say it in the comments, loud to the spiritual realm. I will not leave this moment the same. I receive my healing, and I walk in my true identity in Christ. Declare it, because this is not about feelings, it's about legal authority. The enemy can't resist what's spoken in faith, and this is your moment to seal what heaven just started. If this word reached you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. That simple action helps YouTube recognize that what we do here is not offensive, it's divine. It allows this message to go where I need it to reach next, to others who are silently suffering the same way you were. Now close your eyes, breathe, and pray with me, not out of religion but out of rebirth. Our Father, who art in heaven,